To confuse, perplex, or bewilder. To mix up or confuse two or more things.
उलझन में डालना, चकित या भ्रमित करना.
We shall now review the options for this question. Which of these words most accurately matches the given definition? Veneer. Unnerve. Confound. Dissemble. Now the correct answer is confound.
Confound as verb.
उलझन में डालना, चकित या भ्रमित करना.
To confuse, perplex, or bewilder. To mix up or confuse two or more things.
Synonyms of
Confound.
Confuse, bewilder, perplex, puzzle, baffle.
Antonyms of
Confound.
Clarify, explain, enlighten, differentiate, discriminate.
Here is the word family of confound. As a noun confusion, as a verb confound, as an adjective confounding, as an adverb confoundingly.
The unexpected turn of events confounded the team's plans for the project. The loud noise confounded the speaker, making it difficult for them to be heard. The new evidence will confound the previous theories about the case. The complex instructions will confound the inexperienced users. The students' progress confounded the teacher, as they seemed to be struggling at first, but then excelled.
Here are some useful collocations of
Confound.
Confound the experts. Definition: to prove the experts wrong or challenge their established knowledge or predictions.
Confound logic. Definition: to defy or challenge logical reasoning or expectations. Examples: the paradox in the philosopher's argument confounded traditional logic.
Confound researchers. Definition: to puzzle or confuse researchers by producing unexpected or contradictory results. Examples: the study's findings confounded the researchers as they contradicted previous theories. Confound predictions. Definition: to make predictions or forecasts inaccurate or unreliable due to unexpected factors or outcomes. Examples: the sudden change in weather confounded meteorologists' predictions. Confound the senses. Definition: to bewilder or perplex the senses by presenting contradictory or confusing stimuli. Examples: the illusionist's performance confounded the audience's senses.
Next question. To increase the intensity, difficulty, or unpleasantness of something. To make a situation or condition worse or more severe.
और खराब करना, किसी स्थिति को और बिगाड़ देना.
At this point, let us analyze the options provided. Which of these words fits the given definition most appropriately? Capitulate. Exacerbate. Wanting. Rankle. Now the correct answer is exacerbate.
Exacerbate as verb.
और खराब करना, किसी स्थिति को और बिगाड़ देना.
To increase the intensity, difficulty, or unpleasantness of something. To make a situation or condition worse or more severe.
Synonym of
Exacerbate.
Aggravate, worsen, intensify, exasperate, heighten.
Antonym of
Exacerbate.
Alleviate, assuage, better, ameliorate, help.
Here is the word family of exacerbate. as a noun exacerbation, as a verb exacerbate, as an adjective exacerbating.
Her tendency to procrastinate only exacerbates her workload. The company's cost-cutting measures have only exacerbated employee morale. The hot weather exacerbated his asthma symptoms. The government's policies have exacerbated the economic inequality in the country. His harsh words only serve to exacerbate the situation.
Common collocation of
Exacerbate.
Exacerbate a problem. Definition: to make a problem or situation worse or more severe. Examples: the lack of communication only exacerbated the problem between the two departments, leading to increased tensions. Exacerbate tensions. Definition: to intensify or heighten tensions, conflicts, or disagreements. Examples: the inflammatory remarks by the politician only exacerbated tensions between different communities. Exacerbate pain. Definition: to worsen or increase physical or emotional pain. Examples: the repetitive motion at work exacerbated the employee's pain in their wrist, requiring medical attention. Exacerbate a condition. Definition: to make a medical condition or illness more severe or intense. Examples: the patient's failure to adhere to the prescribed treatment plan exacerbated their condition and delayed their recovery. Exacerbate financial difficulties. Definition: to worsen or amplify financial difficulties or hardships. Examples: the unexpected expense only exacerbated their financial difficulties, making it even harder to make ends meet.
Next question. To challenge or attack the validity, accuracy, or honesty of something. To dispute the truth or correctness of something.
चुनौती देना, किसी बात की सत्यता पर सवाल उठाना.
At this point, let us analyze the options provided. Which of these words fits the given definition most appropriately? Culminate. Impugn. Flux. Assuage. Now the correct answer is impugn.
Impugn as verb.
चुनौती देना, किसी बात की सत्यता पर सवाल उठाना.
To challenge or attack the validity, accuracy, or honesty of something. To dispute the truth or correctness of something.
synonym of
Impugn.
Call into question, challenge, question, dispute, query.
antonym of
Impugn.
Acquit, accept, agree, support, advocate.
Here is the word family of impugn. As a noun impugnment, as a verb impugn, as an adjective impugned.
He impugned her reputation by spreading rumors about her. The defense lawyer impugned the validity of the evidence presented by the prosecution. The witness's testimony impugned the defendant's innocence. She impugned his motives for donating to the charity, calling them insincere. The article impugned the credibility of the entire scientific community.
common collocation of
Impugn.
Impugn someone's integrity. Definition: to cast doubt or question someone's honesty or character. Examples: the politician's opponent tried to impugn his integrity by spreading false rumors about his financial dealings. Impugn someone's motives. Definition: to challenge or criticize someone's underlying intentions or reasons. Examples: the journalist accused the company of impugning her motives for reporting on their unethical practices. Impugn someone's reputation. Definition: to attack or discredit someone's good name or standing in the community. Examples: the competitor's false accusations were intended to impugn the business owner's reputation and undermine trust in their brand. Impugn someone's credibility. Definition: to question or challenge the trustworthiness or reliability of someone's statements or claims. Examples: the defense attorney sought to impugn the witness's credibility by presenting evidence of their previous false statements. Impugn someone's authority. Definition: to dispute or challenge someone's power or right to make decisions or give orders. Examples: the rebellious employees openly impugned their manager's authority and refused to follow his instructions.
Next question. Speak or act in a rambling, confused, or aimless manner.
बकबक करना, बिना सिर पैर की बातें करते रहना.
At this point, let us analyze the options provided. Which of these words fits the given definition most appropriately? Maunder, chortle, flounder, finagle. Now the correct answer is maunder.
Maunder as verb.
बकबक करना, बिना सिर पैर की बातें करते रहना.
Speak or act in a rambling, confused, or aimless manner.
Synonym of
Maunder,
Mutter, ramble, mumble, drivel, stray.
Antonym of
maunder,
Brainstorming, scream out, sweat blood, come early, keep quiet.
Here is the word family of maunder, as a noun maundering, as a verb maunder.
He tends to maunder on about his past experiences instead of engaging in the present. The comedian would often maunder on, making the audience uncomfortable. She would often maunder through her stories, leaving out important details. The politician would maunder in his speeches, never really getting to the point. The professor would maunder through his lectures, losing his audience in the process.
common collocation of
maunder,
Maunder aimlessly. Definition: to wander or roam without purpose or direction. Examples: he maundered aimlessly through the park, lost in his thoughts. Maunder incoherently. Definition: to speak or ramble in a disjointed or confused manner. Examples: the drunk man maundered incoherently, making little sense to anyone around him. Maunder about something. Definition: to talk or complain at length about a particular subject. Examples: maundered about her workload, expressing her frustration to anyone who would listen. Maunder along. Definition: to walk or move slowly and aimlessly. Examples: the couple maundered along the beach, enjoying the sunset. Maunder conversation. Definition: to engage in a rambling or meandering conversation. Examples: they maundered on for hours, discussing various topics without reaching a clear conclusion.
Next question. To describe, sketch, or depict in clear, precise detail. To outline or trace the limits or boundaries of something.
वर्णन करना, स्पष्ट रूप से रेखाएं खींचकर बताना.
Now, let us proceed to evaluate the options for this question. Which word aligns most closely with the stated definition? Assuage, glut, gerrymander, delineate. Now the correct answer is Delineate.
Delineate as verb.
वर्णन करना, स्पष्ट रूप से रेखाएं खींचकर बताना.
To describe, sketch, or depict in clear, precise detail. To outline or trace the limits or boundaries of something.
Synonym of.
Delineate.
Describe, outline, define, draw, portray.
Antonym of.
Delineate.
Undelineated, annotate, color, decipher, box.
Here is the word family of delineate, as a noun delineation, as a verb delineate, as an adjective delineated.
The map delineates the boundaries of the city. The scientist delineated the stages of the experiment in her report. The lawyer delineated the terms of the contract to her client. The writer delineated the character's motivations in great detail. The artist delineated the contours of the model's face in her sketch.
Common collocation of.
Delineate.
Delineate responsibilities. Definition: to assign or specify specific responsibilities or tasks to individuals or teams. Examples: the manager delineated the responsibilities of each team member for the project. Delineate a process. Definition: to explain or outline a step-by-step process or procedure. Examples: the instructor delineated the process of conducting scientific experiments. Delineate the scope. Definition: to define or clarify the scope or extent of something. Examples: the project charter delineates the scope of work and deliverables for the project. Delineate a concept. Definition: to explain or define a concept or idea in detail. Examples: the professor delineated the key concepts of the theory during the lecture. Delineate the timeline. Definition: to establish or specify the chronological order or timeline of events or tasks. Examples: the project schedule delineates the timeline for completing different project milestones.
Next question. To go through or scan a document or text in a methodical and detailed way. To read or examine carefully and thoroughly, especially in a leisurely or attentive manner.
ध्यान से पढ़ना, गहराई से अध्ययन करना.
We shall now review the options for this question. Which of these words most accurately matches the given definition? Contrive. Impede. Peruse. Conflate. Now the correct answer is peruse.
Peruse as verb.
ध्यान से पढ़ना, गहराई से अध्ययन करना.
To go through or scan a document or text in a methodical and detailed way. To read or examine carefully and thoroughly, especially in a leisurely or attentive manner.
Synonym of.
Peruse.
Read, study, scrutinize, scan, examine.
Antonym of.
Peruse.
Browse, neglect, overlook, skim, scamper.
Here is the word family of peruse, as a noun perusal, as a verb peruse.
She perused the menu before deciding what to order. I need to peruse this report before the meeting. The lawyer perused the documents before presenting the case. The detective perused the crime scene for any clues. The lawyer perused the contract carefully before signing it.
Common collocation of.
Peruse.
Peruse a catalog. Definition: to browse or look through a catalog, usually to explore available products or services. Examples: she spent the afternoon perusing the furniture catalog, searching for ideas for her home decor. Peruse a book. Definition: to read or examine a book in a thorough or leisurely manner. Examples: she perused the novel, taking her time to appreciate the intricate details of the story. Peruse a document. Definition: to carefully review or study a document to gain understanding or extract information. Examples: the lawyer perused a legal contract to ensure all the terms and conditions were clear. Peruse an article. Definition: to read or study an article, typically with attention to detail or for research purposes. Examples: the researcher perused the scientific article to gather information for their study. Peruse a magazine. Definition: to flip through or read a magazine, often in a relaxed or casual manner. Examples: he perused the fashion magazine, looking for inspiration for his upcoming photo shoot.
Next question. The act of attaching a shoot or twig from one plant to a stem or root of another plant in order to propagate it.
जोड़ना, एक पौधे को दूसरे में कलम करना.
Let us now turn our attention to the options. Which of these words best fulfills the criteria of the presented definition? Graft, gainsay, sanction, vilify. Now the correct answer is graft.
Graft as verb.
जोड़ना, एक पौधे को दूसरे में कलम करना.
The act of attaching a shoot or twig from one plant to a stem or root of another plant in order to propagate it.
Synonym of
Graft,
Implant, scion, bribe, ingraft, insert.
Antonym of
graft,
Incorruptibility, forerunner, dishonesty.
Here is the word family of graft, as a noun graft, as a verb graft, as a adjective grafted.
The politician was accused of trying to graft votes by offering gifts to potential supporters. The police officer tried to graft evidence to the suspect, but was caught in the act. The student was caught grafting material from the internet for his paper and was given a failing grade. The company attempted to graft their competitors' customers by offering them better deals. The gardener grafted a new type of rose onto the existing plant, hoping to create a unique hybrid.
common collocation of
Graft,
Graft procedure. Definition: a medical procedure that involves grafting or transferring tissue or cells to a specific area of the body. Examples: the dermatologist performed a graft procedure to treat a severe burn on the patient's arm. Graft rejection. Definition: the immune system's rejection of a transplanted organ or tissue. Examples: the patient experienced graft rejection, requiring immunosuppressive medications to prevent further complications. Graft site. Definition: the specific location on the body where tissue or organs are grafted. Examples: the surgeon carefully prepared the graft site before performing the transplant surgery. Graft survival. Definition: the ability of a transplanted organ or tissue to survive and function in the recipient's body. Examples: the patient's long-term prognosis depended on the graft's survival and their ability to maintain proper immunosuppression. Graft complications. Definition: adverse or unwanted effects or complications associated with a graft procedure. Examples: the patient experienced post-operative complications, including infection and graft failure.
Next question. To gain the favor or goodwill of someone, especially a deity, by offering a gift or making a sacrifice. To make amends or atone for an offense, often by offering a sacrifice, apology, or other form of compensation.
शांत करना, किसी को प्रसन्न या संतुष्ट करना.
Let us now turn our attention to the options. Which of these words best fulfills the criteria of the presented definition? Vanquish, propitiate, upbraid, irk. Now the correct answer is propitiate.
Propitiate as verb.
शांत करना, किसी को प्रसन्न या संतुष्ट करना.
To gain the favor or goodwill of someone, especially a deity, by offering a gift or making a sacrifice. To make amends or atone for an offense, often by offering a sacrifice, apology, or other form of compensation.
Synonym of
Propitiate,
Placate, mollify, appease, pacify, allay.
Antonym of
propitiate,
Aggravate, agitate, annoy, antagonize, discomfort.
Here is the word family of propitiate, as a noun propitiation, as a verb propitiate, as an adjective propitiatory.
The politician tried to propitiate the opposition party by compromising on certain policies. The CEO tried to propitiate the shareholders by increasing dividends. The manager tried to propitiate her team by acknowledging their hard work and offering incentives. The tribe made offerings to the gods to propitiate them and asked for their protection. The customer service representative tried to propitiate the angry customer by offering a refund.
collocation of
Propitiate,
Propitiate the gods. Definition: to appease or seek favor from the gods or supernatural beings. Examples: the ancient Egyptians offered sacrifices to propitiate their gods and ensure a bountiful harvest. Propitiate an angry person. Definition: to pacify or satisfy someone who is angry or upset. Examples: he brought her flowers to propitiate her after their argument. Propitiate an enemy. Definition: to try to win over or reconcile with an enemy or adversary. Examples: the diplomats engaged in peace talks to propitiate the warring factions. Propitiate the spirits. Definition: to perform rituals or offerings to gain goodwill from spirits or ancestors. Examples: indigenous tribes perform ceremonies to propitiate the spirits of nature. Propitiate a deity. Definition: to seek forgiveness or favor from a specific deity or god. Examples: worshippers make offerings and prayers to propitiate the goddess of fertility.
Next question. To flood or overflow, especially with a great amount of water. To overwhelm or swamp with a large quantity of something, especially information or requests.
डुबो देना, मात्रा से अधिक भर देना या बाढ़ लाना।
Now, let us proceed to evaluate the options for this question. Which word aligns most closely with the stated definition? Disheartened, antedate, demean, inundate. Now the correct answer is inundate.
Inundate as verb.
डुबो देना, मात्रा से अधिक भर देना या बाढ़ लाना।
To flood or overflow, especially with a great amount of water. To overwhelm or swamp with a large quantity of something, especially information or requests.
Synonym of
Inundate.
Flood, immerse, deluge, submerge, swamp.
Antonym of
Inundate.
Dry, dehydrate, drain, parch, adjourn.
Here is the word family of inundate, as a noun inundation, as a verb inundate.
The social media platform was inundated with fake news and conspiracy theories. The newsroom was inundated with calls from viewers about the breaking story. The company was inundated with orders for their popular product. The town was inundated with floodwaters after days of heavy rain. The professor was inundated with emails from students asking for extra help.
common collocation of
Inundate.
Inundate with information. Definition: to overwhelm or flood someone with a large amount of information. Examples: the teacher's lecture on the complex topic inundated the students with new concepts and theories. Inundate with requests. Definition: to be overwhelmed or swamped with a high volume of requests or demands. Examples: after the announcement, the customer service department was inundated with calls and inquiries. Inundate with messages. Definition: to receive a large number of messages or notifications, often causing overload. Examples: the popular social media influencer was inundated with direct messages from followers after her post went viral. Inundate with emails. Definition: to receive an excessive amount of emails, resulting in a full inbox. Examples: the CEO's inbox was inundated with emails from various stakeholders, requiring careful prioritization. Inundate with compliments. Definition: to receive an overwhelming number of compliments or praise. Examples: after her stunning performance, the actress was inundated with compliments from the audience and critics.
Next question. To claim or seize without justification, often to the point of denying others their rightful possessions or status. To claim or take something that one has no right to.
दावा करना, हड़पना, बिना अधिकार के किसी चीज को अपना बताना।
We shall now review the options for this question. Which of these words most accurately matches the given definition? Enjoin, arrogate, exasperate, sanction. Now the correct answer is arrogate.
Arrogate as verb.
दावा करना, हड़पना, बिना अधिकार के किसी चीज को अपना बताना।
To claim or seize without justification, often to the point of denying others their rightful possessions or status. To claim or take something that one has no right to.
Synonyms of
Arrogate,
Usurp, appropriate, assume, seize, take over.
Antonyms of
Arrogate.
Forfeit, forgo, give, hand over, waive.
Here is the word family of arrogate, as a noun arrogation, as a verb arrogate.
The dictator arrogated to himself the power to make all decisions for the country without consulting anyone else. She arrogated the credit for the project's success, even though it was a team effort. The company CEO arrogated the company's profits to himself and his family, leaving nothing for the employees. The landlord arrogated the right to enter the tenants' apartments without their permission, violating their privacy. He arrogated the title of expert without actually having any qualifications or experience in the field.
Here are some useful collocations of
Arrogate.
Arrogate power. Definition: to claim or seize power or authority without proper justification. Examples: the dictator arrogated power to himself, ignoring the rights and freedoms of the people. Arrogate rights. Definition: to assert or claim rights or privileges without proper authorization or entitlement. Examples: the company tried to arrogate the rights to the intellectual property of their employees. Arrogate responsibility. Definition: to assume or take on responsibility or blame for something unjustifiably. Examples: the politician tried to arrogate responsibility for the success of the project, even though others had done the majority of the work. Arrogate control. Definition: to take control or ownership of something without legitimate authority or consent. Examples: the military junta arrogated control of the country, overthrowing the democratically elected government. Arrogate status. Definition: to claim or assume a particular social or professional status without proper credentials or qualifications. Examples: the self-proclaimed guru arrogated a position of spiritual authority, despite lacking the necessary knowledge or experience.
Next question. To deceive or trick someone by misleading them. To impose upon or deceive someone by playing on their ignorance, credulity, or simplicity.
छल करना, किसी को धोखा देकर भ्रमित करना.
Let us now consider the options for this question. Which of these words best corresponds to the provided definition? To. Renege. Hoodwink. Disseminate. Now the correct answer is hoodwink.
Hoodwink as verb.
छल करना, किसी को धोखा देकर भ्रमित करना.
To deceive or trick someone by misleading them. To impose upon or deceive someone by playing on their ignorance, credulity, or simplicity.
Synonym of
Hoodwink.
Deceive, trick, fool, bamboozle, dupe.
Antonym of
Hoodwink.
Undeceive, disabuse, disenchant, disillusion, address.
Here is the word family of hoodwink, as a noun hoodwinking, as a verb hoodwink, as an adjective hoodwinked.
The salesperson hoodwinked the customer by selling him a faulty product. The magician hoodwinked the audience with his illusions and tricks. The spy hoodwinked the enemy by providing false information. The politician hoodwinked the public by making false promises during the election. The scammer hoodwinked the elderly woman into giving him her life savings.
common collocation of
Hoodwink.
Hoodwinked by deception. Definition: to deceive or trick someone through cunning or dishonest means. Examples: the con artist hoodwinked unsuspecting victims by posing as a financial advisor and stealing their money. Hoodwinked by false promises. Definition: to be misled or deceived by false or empty promises. Examples: the desperate job seeker was hoodwinked by a fraudulent company offering high-paying jobs with no qualifications required. Hoodwinked into believing. Definition: to be tricked or manipulated into believing something that is not true. Examples: the politician hoodwinked the public into believing that their policies would bring about positive change. Hoodwinked by a scheme. Definition: to be fooled or swindled by a cleverly devised plan or scheme. Examples: the investors were hoodwinked by a Ponzi scheme, losing their life savings in the process. Hoodwinked through misinformation. Definition: to be misled or deceived by false or misleading information. Examples: the public was hoodwinked through misinformation spread on social media during the election campaign.
Next question. It can be used to describe the act of making something better or more acceptable in terms of quality, condition, or situation. It implies a sense of improvement or enhancement.
सुधार करना, किसी स्थिति को बेहतर बनाना.
Now, let me present the options for this question. Which of these words matches the definition? Ameliorate, meander, quail, lambaste. Now the correct answer is ameliorate.
Ameliorate as verb.
सुधार करना, किसी स्थिति को बेहतर बनाना.
It can be used to describe the act of making something better or more acceptable in terms of quality, condition, or situation. It implies a sense of improvement or enhancement.
Synonyms of
Ameliorate,
Improve, better, correct, amend, refine.
Antonyms of
ameliorate,
Worsen, debase, decline, deteriorate, exacerbate.
Here is the word family of ameliorate, as a noun amelioration, as a verb ameliorate, as an adjective ameliorative.
The new medicine helped to ameliorate the symptoms of the disease. The company implemented new policies to ameliorate employee dissatisfaction. The government promised to take action to ameliorate poverty in the region. The organization worked to ameliorate the effects of climate change. She volunteered at a charity to ameliorate the suffering of those in need.
Here are some useful collocations of
Ameliorate,
Ameliorate conditions. Definition: to improve or make conditions better. Examples: the organization implemented measures to ameliorate working conditions for its employees. Ameliorate a situation. Definition: to enhance or alleviate a difficult or unfavorable situation. Examples: the mediator's intervention helped ameliorate the tense situation between the two parties. Ameliorate poverty. Definition: to reduce or alleviate the state of poverty. Examples: the government implemented programs to ameliorate poverty levels in disadvantaged communities. Ameliorate pain. Definition: to lessen or relieve physical or emotional pain. Examples: the doctor prescribed medication to ameliorate the patient's chronic pain. Ameliorate skills. Definition: to enhance or improve skills through training or practice. Examples: the workshop aimed to ameliorate participants' communication and leadership skills.
Next question. To feel a strong longing or desire for something, especially for a person or place that one is separated from. To yearn strongly or wistfully for something, especially for a person or place that one is separated from.
तड़पना, किसी चीज की गहरी कमी महसूस करना.
Now, let me present the options for this question. Which of these words matches the definition? Pine. Incense. Perpetuate. Stultify. Now the correct answer is pine.
Pine as verb.
तड़पना, किसी चीज की गहरी कमी महसूस करना.
To feel a strong longing or desire for something, especially for a person or place that one is separated from. To yearn strongly or wistfully for something, especially for a person or place that one is separated from.
Synonym of
Pine.
Yearn, ache, hanker, long, crave.
Antonym of
Pine.
Hate, appear, float, brag, despise.
Here is the word family of pine. As a noun pine, as a verb pine.
The prisoner pined for freedom during his years in jail. She pined for her lost love for years after their breakup. The soldier pined for his family while serving overseas. The dog pined for its owner while they were away on vacation. The child pined for the toy they had seen in the store.
common collocation of
Pine.
Pine tree. Definition: a type of evergreen tree with needle-like leaves and cones. Examples: the forest was filled with tall pine trees, providing a serene and picturesque landscape. Pine scent. Definition: the distinct fragrance or aroma associated with pine trees. Examples: the air was filled with the refreshing scent of pine, creating a calming atmosphere. Pine forest. Definition: a dense area or woodland primarily composed of pine trees. Examples: they went for a hike in the expansive pine forest, enjoying the peacefulness of nature. Pine cone. Definition: the reproductive structure of a pine tree that contains seeds. Examples: the children collected pine cones during their nature walk, fascinated by their unique shape. Pine needles. Definition: the slender, needle-shaped leaves of a pine tree. Examples: the ground was covered with a carpet of fallen pine needles, providing a soft cushion to walk on.
Next question. To encircle and lay siege to a place, typically a fortified location, with the intent to capture or conquer it. To surround and harass someone with persistent demands or requests.
घेर लेना, चारों ओर से दबाव डालकर परेशान करना.
Let us now consider the options for this question. Which of these words best corresponds to the provided definition? Reconcile. Renege. Disabuse. Besiege. Now the correct answer is besiege.
Besiege as verb.
घेर लेना, चारों ओर से दबाव डालकर परेशान करना.
To encircle and lay siege to a place, typically a fortified location, with the intent to capture or conquer it. To surround and harass someone with persistent demands or requests.
Synonyms of
Besiege.
Attack, beleaguer, surround, beset, assail.
Antonyms of
Besiege.
Protect, support, aid, alleviate, abet.
Here is the word family of besiege, as a noun siege, as a verb besiege, as an adjective besieged.
The detective was besieged by reporters, all trying to get the inside scoop on the latest crime scene. The city was besieged by enemy troops, cutting off supply lines and preventing people from leaving or entering. The protesters besieged the government building, blocking the entrances and demanding to be heard by the officials inside. The company was besieged by complaints from customers, all unhappy with the quality of the product and demanding refunds. The team was besieged by injuries, making it difficult to field a competitive squad for the upcoming game.
Here are some useful collocations of
Besiege.
Besiege a city. Definition: surround a city with armed forces to isolate and capture it. Examples: the army planned to besiege the enemy city to gain control. Besiege with questions. Definition: overwhelm someone with a barrage of questions or requests for information. Examples: the reporter besieged the celebrity with questions about the recent scandal. Besiege with demands. Definition: continuously make demands or requests, putting pressure on someone to fulfill them. Examples: the union members besieged the management with their demands for better working conditions. Besiege with phone calls. Definition: persistently call someone, often in an intrusive or annoying manner. Examples: the telemarketing company besieged households with unsolicited phone calls. Besiege with advertisements. Definition: bombard someone with a large number of advertisements or marketing messages. Examples: the internet users were besieged with pop-up ads while browsing.
Next question. To cause to fall or bring down to the ground. To defeat, overthrow.
गिराना, किसी वस्तु को काटकर या मारकर गिरा देना.
Now, let us proceed to evaluate the options for this question. Which word aligns most closely with the stated definition? Enjoin. Preempt. Fell. Remonstrate. Now the correct answer is fell.
Fell as verb.
गिराना, किसी वस्तु को काटकर या मारकर गिरा देना.
To cause to fall or bring down to the ground. To defeat, overthrow.
Synonym of
Fell.
Savage, brutal, cruel, barbarous, ferocious.
Antonym of
Fell.
Construct, erect, build, raise, establish.
Here is the word family of fell, as a verb fell.
The company was felled by a sudden drop in demand for their products. The controversial decision felled the candidate's chances of winning the election. The boxer was felled by a powerful punch to the head. The lumberjacks were hired to fell the trees in the forest. The hurricane had felled many of the trees in the park.
common collocation of
Fell.
Forest fell. Definition: an area of trees or woodland that has been cut down or cleared. Examples: the loggers completed the timber harvest, leaving behind a vast forest fell. Fell swoop. Definition: a sudden and swift action or movement, often referring to accomplishing something in a single, decisive action. Examples: the CEO's decision eliminated all the competition in one fell swoop. Fell trees. Definition: to cut down or chop trees, usually for timber or land clearing purposes. Examples: the lumberjacks worked diligently to fell the trees and prepare them for transportation. Fell enemy. Definition: to defeat or conquer an enemy or opponent. Examples: the army launched a successful offensive and felled the enemy forces. Rock. Definition: a large mass of rock or boulder that has fallen or been dislodged from its original position. Examples: the hikers were cautious as they navigated the trail strewn with fell rocks.
Next question. To hide or conceal something. To make something difficult to see or understand.
अस्पष्ट करना, किसी चीज को कम स्पष्ट करना.
Let us now turn our attention to the options. Which of these words best fulfills the criteria of the presented definition? Incense, ameliorate, obscure, avert. Now the correct answer is obscure.
Obscure as verb.
अस्पष्ट करना, किसी चीज को कम स्पष्ट करना.
To hide or conceal something. To make something difficult to see or understand.
Synonym of.
Obscure,
Dim, vague, unclear, dark, hazy.
Antonym of.
obscure,
Clear, visible, obvious, bright, conspicuous.
Here is the word family of obscure, as a noun obscurity, as a verb obscure, as an adjective obscure, as an adverb obscurely.
The criminal attempted to obscure his identity by wearing a disguise. The company tried to obscure their unethical practices by providing misleading information. The photographer used a filter to obscure the subject's features and create a mysterious effect. The author deliberately obscured certain details in the novel to create suspense. The thick fog obscured the driver's vision, causing them to slow down.
Common collocation of
Obscure,
Obscure meaning. Definition: having a hidden, vague, or unclear meaning that is difficult to interpret or understand. Examples: the poem was filled with obscure meanings and metaphors, challenging readers to uncover its depth. Obscure reference. Definition: a reference or allusion that is not widely known or understood by most people. Examples: the author included an obscure reference to ancient mythology in the novel, appealing to readers with a deeper knowledge. Obscure language. Definition: the use of complex or highly specialized terminology that is not easily accessible to the general public. Examples: the scientific paper was written in obscure language, making it difficult for non-experts to comprehend. Obscure location. Definition: a place that is remote, secluded, or not well known to the general public. Examples: they decided to go on an adventure and explore an obscure location in the mountains. Obscure artist. Definition: an artist whose work is not widely recognized or known by the general public. Examples: the gallery featured an exhibition showcasing obscure artists from different corners of the world.
Next question. To propagate, especially ideas or beliefs. to spread or distribute information or knowledge.
फैलाना, जानकारी या विचारों को व्यापक रूप से बांटना.
Now, let me present the options for this question. Which of these words matches the definition? Assuage, quip, disseminate, hamstring. Now the correct answer is disseminate.
Disseminate as verb.
फैलाना, जानकारी या विचारों को व्यापक रूप से बांटना.
To propagate, especially ideas or beliefs. To spread or distribute information or knowledge.
Synonym of.
Disseminate.
Distribute, broadcast, spread, disperse, scatter.
Antonym of.
Disseminate.
Gather, collect, concentration, absorb, accumulate.
Here is the word family of disseminate, as a noun dissemination, as a verb disseminate, as an adjective disseminated.
The government launched a campaign to disseminate information about the new vaccination program. The professor disseminated the results of her research study through academic journals and conferences. The news network works to disseminate breaking news to viewers as quickly and accurately as possible. The company disseminated a memo to all employees regarding the new policy changes. The nonprofit organization aims to disseminate their message to a broader audience through social media and advertising.
Common collocation of.
Disseminate.
Disseminate ideas. Definition: to promote or circulate ideas or concepts to a larger population. Examples: the Internet has greatly facilitated the dissemination of ideas and opinions. Disseminate information. Definition: to spread or distribute information widely. Examples: the organization aims to disseminate accurate health information to the public. Disseminate knowledge. Definition: to share or transmit knowledge or expertise to a broad audience. Examples: the professor's research findings were disseminated through academic journals and conferences. Disseminate propaganda. Definition: to spread biased or misleading information to influence public opinion. Examples: the regime used social media platforms to disseminate propaganda and control the narrative. Disseminate research findings. Definition: to make research results widely available and accessible. Examples: the scientist published a paper to disseminate their groundbreaking research findings.
Next question. To be deliberately vague or unclear in order to avoid giving a definite answer or making a commitment. To use ambiguous or unclear language in order to deceive or mislead others.
गोलमोल बोलना, स्पष्ट उत्तर न देना.
Let us now turn our attention to the options. Which of these words best fulfills the criteria of the presented definition? Precipitate, relegate, equivocate, taxing. Now the correct answer is equivocate.
Equivocate as verb.
गोलमोल बोलना, स्पष्ट उत्तर न देना.
To be deliberately vague or unclear in order to avoid giving a definite answer or making a commitment. To use ambiguous or unclear language in order to deceive or mislead others.
Synonym of.
Equivocate.
Prevaricate, tergiversate, quibble, lie, palter.
Antonym of.
Equivocate.
Confront, face, meet, appearance, aspect.
Here is the word family of equivocate, as a noun equivocation, as a verb equivocate, as a adjective equivocal, as a adverb equivocally.
The politician tried to equivocate when asked about his stance on gun control. She equivocated when asked if she had seen the missing document. The suspect equivocated when asked about his whereabouts on the night of the crime.
The defendant equivocated during her testimony, and the prosecutor accused her of lying.
The employee equivocated when asked about the missing funds.
Common collocation of
Equivocate.
Equivocate in a statement. Definition: to intentionally use ambiguous or double-meaning statements to mislead or confuse the listener. Examples: the spokesperson's press conference was filled with equivocating statements that left journalists puzzled and seeking clarification. Equivocate with conditional statements. Definition: to use conditional language or qualifiers that leave room for interpretation or change of position. Examples: the speakers equivocating with conditional statements allowed them to shift their stance based on the audience's reaction. Equivocate on a topic. Definition: to use ambiguous or unclear language to avoid giving a direct or straightforward answer or stance on a particular topic. Equivocate in an interview. Definition: to give evasive or ambiguous responses during an interview, to avoid providing clear information or commitment. Examples: the CEO's PR representative advised them to equivocate in the interview to avoid revealing sensitive company information. Equivocate in a negotiation. Definition: to use deceptive or ambiguous language during a negotiation to manipulate or confuse the other party. Examples: the experienced negotiator knew how to equivocate in the discussion to gain an advantage and secure a better deal.
Next question. To intimidate or bully through aggressive or overbearing behavior or language. To persuade or coerce through the use of threats or intimidation.
डराकर मनवाना, धमकाकर कुछ करवाना.
Let us now turn our attention to the options. Which of these words best fulfills the criteria of the presented definition? Taxing, browbeat, perturb, espouse. Now the correct answer is browbeat.
Browbeat as verb.
डराकर मनवाना, धमकाकर कुछ करवाना.
To intimidate or bully through aggressive or overbearing behavior or language. To persuade or coerce through the use of threats or intimidation.
Synonyms of
Browbeat,
Intimidate, bully, hector, threaten, cow.
antonyms of
browbeat,
Boost, praise, coax, compliment, persuade.
Here is the word family of browbeat, as a noun browbeating, as a verb browbeat.
The bully browbeat his classmates into giving him their lunch money. The prosecutor attempted to browbeat the witness into changing their testimony. The manager browbeat the employees into working overtime without pay. The coach browbeat the team after their loss, making them feel ashamed and guilty. The teacher browbeat the students who didn't understand the material, instead of providing additional help.
Here are some useful collocations of
browbeat,
Browbeat someone. Definition: to intimidate or bully someone through aggressive or harsh behavior. Examples: the boss constantly browbeat his employees to work longer hours. Browbeat into submission. Definition: to force someone into submission or compliance through intimidation. Examples: the dictator browbeat the opposition into silence through threats and violence. Browbeat with criticism. Definition: to subject someone to constant criticism or verbal abuse in order to control or manipulate them. Examples: she felt browbeaten by her partner's constant criticism of her appearance. Browbeat with authority. Definition: to assert one's authority or power over someone through intimidating tactics. Examples: the coach browbeat the players with his authoritarian coaching style. Browbeat by fear. Definition: to instill fear or terror in someone as a means of controlling or manipulating them. Examples: the abusive partner browbeat their victim with threats and fear.
You can find playlists for various languages in the video description. To practice the vocabulary, you are encouraged to explore our various apps. Links to these are also included in the description. If you found something new or interesting, feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section and provide your valuable feedback. And please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more educational content.